Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we got another interesting video here as Kadem Carey has retired from the CFL and has been hired to be in the coaching staff of the Toronto Argonauts. Is he their running backs coach?
He is the running backs coach.
Okay, I was about to say, because the 3Down article just says coaching staff, but I'm like, surely he's the running backs coach.
So the funny thing is, I don't know if you remember, but when who was it? Was it Calgary? I'm sure it was Toronto. Hold on, I gotta fact check this before. I want to remember if it was. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was. Oh, so it was Toronto when Toronto first cut Kadem Carey. Kadem Carey got pissed off and said that they're wrong for cutting him.
Well, and remember, he was also pretty upset when Calgary cut him.
That too.
So that was kind of a bit of a running theme, although I find it interesting as it seemed kind of, rather than this deep-seated hatred with either of them, I think it just seemed more reactionary, you know what I mean? Just frustrated, you know what I mean? And I will say, I actually kind of understand it here, as in 2024, he got 1,060 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, and won him a Grey Cup. So I kind of get it. Like, that I get that. That makes sense. I understand that. Because it's one of those things, he did very well in the CFL in his time. And I actually, you know what I find interesting about this, if you really think about it? About running backs retiring and then swapping teams. And what I mean by that is Andrew Harris retires in Toronto, then becomes the running backs coach at the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And then Kadem Carey retires in Saskatchewan and becomes the running backs coach of the Toronto Argonauts. It's not the same year, but I just find it funny how it's almost that swap, you know?
Don't forget, Andrew Harris also spent a ton of time in Winnipeg too.
Oh yeah. Well, then again, we could say Kadem Carey spent a ton of time in Calgary. So, you know, it kind of goes both ways. But I mean, like, if we're looking over the course of his career, this is a guy who won a lot of shit, okay? He had played in the CFL 2019 through 2025. In that time, he had 3,956 rushing yards on 692 rushes. So that's an average of 5.7. Very good. 26 touchdowns, with his longest run being 40 yards, which he got in his 2022 season. And he played 65 games total. For looking at his awards, going back all the way to college, let's get through all this. He was a 2-time first team All-Pac 12 in 2012 and 2013. He was a Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year in 2013. He was a 2-time consensus All-American in 2012 and 2013. He was a CFL East All-Star in 2024. He was a 2-time CFL West All-Star in 2021 and 2022. He was a CFL All-Star in 2022. He's a 2-time recipient of the Eddie James Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to the leading rusher in the West Division. He got that in 2021 and 2022. And most importantly, he is a 3-time Grey Cup champion, technically, even though he didn't play that much with Saskatchewan. He technically gets that as part of his accolades. He won in 2018 with the Calgary Stampeders, 2024 with the Toronto Argonauts, and then 2025 back-to-back for him with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So his playing career had been kind of over the course of a lot of different teams. This is a guy that actually spent a bit of time in the NFL and actually played some games in the NFL for CFLers, because a lot of them just kind of go up and they, bounce around a practice roster. Maybe they get on the main roster, but that doesn't mean that they're actually going to play. They're just kind of a backup. He actually got some time. He played college football for 3 years with Arizona, with the Wildcats in the Big 12. He did relatively good there, in which case, like his 2012 season, he got 1,929 rushing yards in 13 games. It's averaging 6 5.37 yards per carry. He had 23 touchdowns that year. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Then the next year, he had 12 games played for 1,885 rushing yards with an average of 5.4. And he got 19 touchdowns that year with even just in one less game, which then brought him into the NFL. He played 14 games for the Chicago Bears in 2014. He didn't start any of them, but he got 158 rushing yards and then if we go into the next year, because he had played with the Chicago Bears 2014 through 2017, 2015, he gets 11 games played, 1 game started. He got 159 rushing yards on 43 attempts, in which case he got 2 touchdowns. So he got his first and second NFL career touchdown. 2016, 12 games played. He got 126 rushing yards on 32 attempts. And then in his last year, he did not play any games, but he was on the roster before he had a year off in 2018. Then 2019, he joins the CFL. So, are there any kind of thoughts you have for Kadem Carey on the course of his career, whether that's talking about his time playing college, NFL, or up here in the CFL?
I mean, if you look at, I'll just count his final days.
Yep.
Yeah, he did do well that last bit of time. Then if you look at Toronto's last year, as in this past year, they only had 2 rushing touchdowns between Spencer Brown and Dante McElhaun.
Yeah.
You would have thought
because that was the guys that they kept when they cut him.
Yeah. So I mean, they say Hamilton and Toronto had the worst run game this past year. If Kadem Carey would have stayed,
I think it would have been better.
It would have been better.
I think I can confidently say I think it would have been better. Now, how much better, that can be as to anyone's
That's a whole different
guess.
story.
But saying they got what, 2 rushing touchdowns, you said?
2 rushing touchdowns, and Spencer Brown got 1 receiving touchdown.
Okay, well, so 2 rushing touchdowns. Last year, just Kadem Carey alone got them, like the year before, got them 7. So I'm saying even if he's half as productive, they still get more rushing touchdowns, which I think it's fair to say that he would at least be half as productive. I don't see him being any less than that. As up until that point, he only had 1 year where he didn't get any touchdowns, and that was a year that he only played 9 games. And was 1 off year that he had, but again, it wasn't his tenure in Toronto had been very good. So I remember me and Rick actually made a video when he was cut because of how shocking that he was cut.
Oh yeah,
so I want to make this
what other big name was cut last spring?
Yeah,
but it's like it seems like every year there's always one player.
Well, and you know what it was? We were also there was this thing that we kept saying, and what you know what it was, Rick? It was what have you done for me lately? That was seemingly the model of the CFL at the start of this past year, where pretty much whatever the hell you did up until that point was irrelevant when you came into training camp and what they thought of you just from that. Which, on one hand, I understand that in the sense of you want to give the opportunities for guys to kind of make an impact and be on kind of a fair playing field. But also, you have a Grey Cup ring sitting in your fucking office that you can't not think about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's especially different if you win the championship. So we're not mentioning this constantly trying to bash the guy. Actually, I think quite the opposite. I think me and Rick both think very highly of Kadem Carey, his skills as a running back. There's no reason he spent as much time. He's a fantastic running back. And you know what? I'm glad that he's signed in Toronto in the sense of that, you know, again, there was a little bit of concern of maybe some bad blood when he left Calgary, maybe some bad blood when he left Toronto. I think that him signing in Toronto proves that was just just a bit of a reactionary thing. He was just upset. Fair enough. You know what I mean? And so, it shows that that he's a man. And so I
So
think that Toronto. Now, hold on a second. Does this mean that Kadem Carey might be coaching McMahon and Brown? Because that'd be really interesting. One year they cut the guy, and then the next year he's coaching the other two guys. So I think they've maybe realized that that wasn't the wisest decision and are making up on it now. As I think Mike Miller sees a lot in him.
So I'm actually quite curious because I mean, Andrew Harris was coaching AJ Ouellette and Kadem Carey and Thomas Hudon out in Saskatchewan. Now we all know what you get with AJ Ouellette, but also the running backs coach doesn't um, call offensive plays though.
No, no, no,
In
no, no. They
Toronto,
don't.
though, it makes you wonder if, with Kadem Carey's resume, if you will finally see the potential in Spencer Brown and Dante McMahon, or if you're just going to see regular
More of
numbers.
the
Because I can
same.
guarantee you, and again, I'm not here to bash them or anything, but if they put up similar numbers like they have, you might as well just say that's their ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, especially since I think Toronto's looking now that they have almost a bit of a fresh start. They got Mike Miller in there, new head coach. They were able to re-sign a lot of talent that was a little bit unexpected in the sense of it was kind of expected that when Ryan Dinwiddie left to go to the Ottawa Red Blacks,
Auto Red Blacks?
it seemed like doom and gloom in Toronto. Like it looked bad in the sense of, oh God, Ryan Dinwiddie is so respected. Like there was almost a question of if there would be this exodus of players from Toronto, but surprisingly there wasn't, and a lot of
Yet.
people stuck around.
Yet.
Oh, I know I say yeah, but I'll be fair and say there was a lot of guys that had re-signed. They had even brought back some names from years prior. I'm trying to remember the one. It's we had done a video on it. Who was it? It was
What
whatchamacallit?
position?
Ralph Hawley.
Oh.
When they brought back Ralph Hawley. So there were some good moves they did there. I think it'll just be a question of what they do in free agency. So we'll have to see. But all in all, in regards to the career of Kadem Carey, I mean, he's a three-time Grey Cup champion. You can't say it's that bad. So the man did very, very well, and he's going to be making a living in football, extending past his time playing pro football. And so couldn't be happier for the guy. So congratulations to Kadem Carey on his coaching position with the Toronto Argonauts and on a great CFL career. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports stuff. So make sure you guys go there and tag Rick and talk some shit. Be a problem. Although they'll probably do that for me too, so that's fine. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys next time.